Look at the skin where your sock sits all day. If you peel it off and see a deep, lingering groove pressed into your calf, and you also find yourself waking up at 2 a.m. to use the bathroom, you are looking at two symptoms from the exact same source. In 7, manually driving this passive drainage network stops the biological chain reaction that interrupts your sleep, allowing you to reclaim a full night of rest. During the day, whenever you sit or stand, gravity continuously pulls fluid down into your lower extremities. Because your lymph vessels rely entirely on physical movement to pump, sitting still prevents your leg muscles from squeezing the fluid back upward. As a result, fluid slowly leaks out of your capillaries and pools quietly in the tissues of your ankles and calves. The turning point occurs the moment you get into bed. When you lie horizontal, gravity stops pulling that fluid downward, allowing the accumulated pool in your legs to rapidly seep back out of the tissues and re-enter your bloodstream. Because this trapped fluid has suddenly found an escape route, your heart receives an unexpected, massive flood of volume all at once. Your kidneys immediately detect this sudden influx of fluid. To manage the massive excess volume, they shift into overdrive to filter it out. They rapidly convert this floodwater into urine. This biological chain reaction is exactly what forces you to wake up at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and 5 a.m. to use the bathroom. This cycle of waking is the predictable result of physics, the delayed consequence of daytime fluid accumulation finally finding its way back into your circulation. To correctly target this issue, you must evaluate the specific physical characteristics of your lower legs. Lymphatic swelling is typically soft and puffy, and uniquely involves the top of the foot, right behind the toes. Look at this visual comparison. If your swelling looks like the image on the right, accompanied by dark brown discoloration on the shin or visible varicose veins, your veins are struggling to return blood to the heart. If your swelling worsens throughout the day and occurs alongside extreme fatigue, shortness of breath when lying flat, or sudden weight gain, this points to a systemic issue that requires a doctor's evaluation. Stop and seek immediate medical attention if you experience sudden swelling within a matter of hours, accompanied by heat and redness in the skin. Unilateral symptoms, meaning swelling that is sudden and painful in only one leg, strongly point to a deep vein blood clot, which is an acute emergency. Additionally, if you notice a painless, hard swelling on one side of your body and have a history of cancer treatments, this indicates a blocked lymph node requiring immediate evaluation. Safely ruling out these red flags and categorizing your swelling is the mandatory first step before you attempt to physically manipulate the tissues yourself. If your symptoms match the lymphatic pattern, you can use the PIT test to manually measure the fluid saturation in your legs.
Find the bony ridge on the front of your shin, about 4 inches above your ankle. Press your thumb in firmly for 15 seconds, then lift your thumb away to observe the skin. If you see a slight dent, you have grade 1 pitting edema. If that dent takes 10 seconds or more to smooth back out, it is grade 2. A deep crater that lasts over a minute is grade 3, indicating a large volume of pooled fluid. The second check is the stemmer sign. Try to pinch the skin on the top of your foot, right behind your second toe, between your thumb and forefinger. If you cannot lift the skin at all, and it feels like it is fused to the foot beneath it, you have a positive stemmer sign. This confirms that chronic lymphatic congestion is occurring in the tissue. By identifying your current grade and checking your foot skin, you have established a measurable baseline to track your progress as you apply the physical protocol over the next 2 weeks. Step 1 is preventing the fluid from building up during the day. You must keep the lymphatic conveyor belt moving through minor physical interventions. Tomorrow morning, before your feet even hit the floor, do 30 ankle pumps while lying in bed. Point your toes down, then flex them back up toward your face to prevent fluid from rushing downward the moment you stand. Before dinner, take a 5-minute walk. This specific timing activates the deep calf muscles, forcing them to contract and physically push the lymph upward before the evening fluid pooling can set in. Notice the difference between these two vessels. Many people drink less water to avoid swelling, but dehydration thickens your lymph into a slow-moving sludge. Maintaining adequate hydration is what creates thin, free-flowing lymph. You also need to adjust the building blocks of your diet. Cut back on hidden sodium from sources like canned soup,
and add flavonoids, magnesium, and high-quality protein to strengthen the walls of your capillaries and reduce fluid leakage. Executing these minor interventions throughout the day acts as a pressure release valve, preventing the severe accumulation that causes sleep disruption later. Step 2 is the nightly physical drainage sequence. To clear out the remaining reservoir, you must perform this 15-minute routine exactly 90 minutes before you go to bed. Lie flat on the floor or your bed and place your legs straight up against a wall at roughly a 90-degree angle. Your heels must be higher than your hips, and your hips must be higher than your heart. While your legs are inverted, perform 10 slow ankle circles in each direction, followed by 20 alternating ankle flexes. This diagram shows the thoracic duct, the main drainage vessel for your entire lymphatic system. While inverted, spend 3 minutes doing slow, deep belly breathing. Because the system lacks a heart, the downward movement of your diaphragm from deep breathing literally pumps your lymph. After 15 minutes, roll to your side and sit up. Using the flat pads of your fingers, gently stroke the skin starting from your ankle and moving upward toward your knee. Do exactly 10 strokes on each leg. This physical action directly pushes the fluid from your tissues into the lymph capillaries. You must always stroke upward toward the heart and never downward against the direction of the valves. Right after completing the sequence, you will process roughly 300 to 400 milliliters of fluid, and you will feel an immediate urge to urinate. You just released the exact fluid that would have flooded your kidneys at 2 a.m. By scheduling this mechanical drainage while you are still awake, you secure an uninterrupted night of rest.